This is the Stereosis.
Yeah, good evening and welcome to our today discussion. Today we have somebody in the studio by name Mr. Raymond Ifeanyichukwu Darlington. He's the founder of
Ihoneri movement.
Ihonere movement is a praise movement, the Christian praise movement.
Yes.
And the Ihonere has another unit that is focused on the children ministry.
Yes.
And they go around schools, secondary schools and primary schools,
Yes.
outreaches, talking to them. And today we'll be talking about something very important: how to prevent child molestation or child exploitation, or generally how you can prevent children from being abused.
Exactly.
He has got a lot of things to tell us. He moves around schools and he has listened to a lot of children, a lot of teenagers confine in him some things they wouldn't even tell their parents. And today I want to hear from him. Mr. Darlington, you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just tell us a little bit about Ihe Honor. I'm not getting this name correctly, but please just tell us little about
Ihoneri.
Ihonere.
Okay.
Ihonere movement.
Actually, the Ihoneri movement came as an inspiration, and it's actually coined this way that Inye Jehovah Ihoneri, Jehovah Toaria Nyegi Hineri. Do you understand? Yes.
Explain it in English. So
Yes.
that our audience...
So I'll explain it.
Okay.
When you give God what he eats, God in turn gives you what you eat.
Okay.
Do you understand? And it's somehow biblical.
Okay.
Do you understand? And it's coined from the popular verse we know in the scriptures in Matthew 6:33, where it says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and every other thing shall be added unto you." So the movement is an inspiration from God, and inside the movement we also have this children ministry, student outreach. Yes.
Okay. How did you just focus on children ministry? You should have started with big people that bring money. What motivated you to go into children ministry?
Actually, I had a friend those days, that we go to school together.
Okay.
And before I got married, I've been going to schools, to talk to students.
Secondary school, primary school?
Secondary school. We go to secondary school.
Okay.
We go to primary school.
Okay.
And sometimes they are combined.
Okay.
So we talk to the junior class, the primary school. We talk to the senior class. You understand? And when we go to secondary school also, we talk to maybe, like I said, the junior class and the senior class. So we only go to universities, high institutions.
Okay.
Yes, like I remember we went to UNTH, to talk to the students about relationship. Yes, talk to them about relationship, and from there, so.
You do talk to. I'm interested in the junior students.
The junior students.
And
actually, what led to that was, by the time we visited a lot of schools,
okay,
we started, receiving feedback from the students. And actually, one of the schools that we went to that really increased the burden and the passion to do that was one of the schools in Enugu here.
Okay.
It's a girls' school.
Yes.
Girls' school.
Okay.
Girls' secondary school. So by the time we finished in that school, we threw out questionnaire, and when that questionnaire came back, we discover that most of the girls there, 90% of the girls there, have been molested from age 4. They could remember what happened. They could remember the person. They could remember the events clearly. And it was affecting them.
How?
They were losing concentration. Because some of those people that did that to them actually threatened them that if you say it, and they are threatening, don't tell your mother. And we went forward to ask these little girls, did you speak to mommy or daddy about this? They were like, no, my mommy can't hear this, my father can't hear this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it also gave us more room to now start seeing how we can get to the parents.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
To let them know that if a child is not confiding in you, if a child cannot come to you to open up, then your parenting has a fault.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Your parenting
Has a fault.
has a fault. Now, I'll share a story with you. When this thing started going on,
Okay.
remember I told you I was not married then.
Okay, you were a single.
Yes, I was single young man.
You're a pastor then?
I was just a Christian. I was not a pastor.
Okay.
I was just a Christian that loves God.
Okay.
Do you understand? So the thing gave me a burden. So I made up my mind that when I get married, I must be close to my children, especially the girl child.
Okay.
Fortunately for me, I have 4 girls.
That's interesting. And you started this before you got married?
Yes. I have 4 girls. Do you understand?
Okay.
And I'm happy with these 4 girls. I don't bother myself whether there's a male child or there's a... For me, they are okay. Do you understand?
But this your outreach has helped you a lot, you know?
You said?
The outreach,
Yeah.
what you learned from this, it has actually helped you a lot in training you.
Yes. Actually, it's made me... So I told myself, I'm going to be close to these children. And I won't just be their father. I want to be their friend. Do you understand? Because
Be their father, you want to be their friend.
I will not just be their father.
Okay.
I will go further becoming their friend. Because I know that nobody confides in a stranger. If you have something disturbing you now, you will look for a very close friend.
Friend, yeah.
So if your child doesn't see you as a friend, it will be difficult for that child to open up
Yes.
to you. So something actually happened, and it really gave me deeper commitment doing this. My first daughter, today I think she's 14.
Okay.
She was born 11th of January 2008.
Okay.
2008. You know, when she was 8, she wrote a book. I came with the book. Please help me.
Okay.
There's a book there, just help me. She wrote a book, and okay, that's the book.
Okay.
That's her here.
This is serious.
Yes, when she was 8. You know, this little girl, you know.
Don't worry, we'll actually show the book. This Princess
Tanya. Yes.
and the Golden Ball and other stories. And that's impressive.
You know.
It was from your experience from what you gathered from this.
Yes, like I wanted to tell you something about
About the book,
this my daughter,
Okay.
something that happened that gave me more insights to what I've been doing even before I got married.
Okay.
When she was 3, then my wife was schooling at UNN. My wife wanted to go back to school with her. I told her, I said, no, leave her with me. I'm going to stay with her. Because of what I've been hearing in school. Because of what has been happening to young children, in school. Some of them come to us and tell us the person that broke her virginity or that molested her is a cousin. Yes. A brother. Yes. A sister. Do you understand? And when you hear this thing, if you are not called to it, you may run away. Because there are some things they will tell you that you won't be able to open your mouth to say them. So my little daughter came to me when she was 3 and said, Daddy, I will marry you. We sleep, she normally sleeps with us. So we woke up that morning and she sat down on the bed and she looked at me and said, Daddy, I will marry you. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't say a word. I was like, where is all this thing coming from? We didn't talk about marriage. So what happened? I didn't know what to say. I was just moping at this little girl. And she said to me, Daddy, will you marry me? That was when I said, wait. I said, listen. He said, I'm your daddy and I'm married. Mommy, your mother is my wife. Okay?
Yeah.
I said, when you grow up, you find a man that can love you the way daddy loves you. And if you like the man, you can marry the man. Okay? Now, it gave me an insight. Nobody sees a young girl on the street and said, I will marry you.
Yeah. Okay.
Before you bring the issue of marriage to anybody, especially as a young man, you must have taken a deep thought into it, then decide to start even the discussion. Talk less of telling the person I will marry you. So if that happens, it means that you don't marry a stranger. You marry somebody you feel is your friend or you are close to. So for my daughter to tell me that, I now discover that it's not just enough being a father. It's not just enough being a mother. It is expected that parents go further, becoming their children's friend.
That is to protect them from being vulnerable.
Yes.
Being abused.
Because you can't follow them around. And you don't really choose friends for them.
Yeah.
But if you are close to them, you are their friend. They will always want to feed you back with things that happen, either in school or at home when you are not around. And each time a child comes to report an issue, don't scare that child away. You are training that child. You're actually repelling that child from feedback that you need.
Useful feedback.
Yes. At that moment, it might not be useful. They might just want to come and report to you, children's thing. Please humble yourself and listen. Always give them listening ear.
Okay, but what is the rate? Just take us into this whole child abuse stuff in Nigeria. Just in our society now. Take us just deeper. I'm just excited and curious. Take us, just allow us into the, I'm not saying you should call names, into this activity, how it happens, the percentage of the number of young people you think this is affecting currently. Just take us deeper into it. Let's just have an idea of what happens.
Actually, it's a pandemic.
Pandemic.
Yes. Our girl child especially
Most vulnerable.
yes, they are most vulnerable. You understand? And to some extent, it has to fall back to the parents. Do you understand? Has to fall back to the parents, because why we target the secondary school and the primary school is that if you can catch these young girls early, it's amazing that some of these little girls, some of them have not been given sex education by their parents. Could you imagine that? A girl that is 10, the mother have not called her to give her education about her body.
And that's very necessary.
Very necessary.
How does that prevent or affect the child abuse?
Because knowledge is power. If you educate the young girl early, give her some basic education on how to protect herself, things she should know, and things that she shouldn't allow herself to be exposed to. The creator's manual said something. He said, train up a child in a way he should go, and when he's grown, he will not depart from it. That means if you must train a child in a way he or she should go, you too should know that way.
That's a big statement.
Because you can't lead a person to a place you don't know.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Many of us are we didn't really have this training, like our parents taking us from one step and all those things. But by virtue of events of life, you've come to realize that you need to protect these children. Do you understand? You need to protect these children. So by doing that, the way it helps the young little girl, the young child, a girl child, is by empowering that child, first of all, to understand that her body is not meant for someone who just wants to satisfy his or her sexual urge. It empowers the young child, and if you can achieve that very early, it goes a long way. It's a delusion for a mother to think that you start training your child when the child is 4. If you lose that training from age 1 to 3, you can't get that child. It will be a damage control. Any other thing you're doing will be a damage control, because from age 1 to age 3, anything you train that child on sticks. It sticks. Some of these young girls have come to us and told us that it is the person they confided in that now took advantage of them.
The person they confided?
Yes.
Okay. What's the least age you ever had, the experience you ever had?
The least age?
Yes. Being abused.
Being abused.
3, 4?
4.
4 years. A girl or a boy?
A girl. Most of the time, girls.
Yes.
Yes. I've met a boy in one of the boys' school here in Enugu who was molested by a woman.
How old was the boy?
He told me that happened when he was, I think, 5, 6 years.
And still carries to...
It affected him. Why? He came to me after the administration in school. He came to me and told me, I said, this is what happening. I used to be an intelligent young boy, but ever since that thing happened, from primary school, in fact, my father had to show me my results from primary 1 to primary 4. No, from when I was in nursery school.
Okay.
And I discovered that I was very intelligent.
Something happened along the way.
But I discovered that I started not paying attention or getting those marks after that thing happened. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it does a lot of damage
To the
young child, whether female or male.
Can you tell us actually where this thing actually happens more? Like where they get hurt mostly from? Either from the parents, from those who are close to them, from school, maybe from the domestic workers in their house. From the statistics you have, does it have any particular place? Yeah, like
we discover that sometimes, these days where people have a lot of children,
yes,
and they send them to go and stay with either with their brother or with their sister or with their auntie or with their uncle.
okay.
Or sometimes it might not even be their uncle. Some people, because of lack of resources, somebody will come and tell them that somebody somewhere needs a child, a house help.
Yes.
They don't know the person. They are not from the same family. They are not from the same state sometimes. And the person just carries that child and gives to that person. And that child will now go and live with that family that is not, they don't have any blood relationship.
Okay.
So by that little child staying there, if she's not well protected, the man in the house too can even take advantage of her.
The man or the children?
The man. We've had stories where the man, the husband of the woman where that little girl is staying, taking advantage of that young girl. We have a situation where the sons
also
taking advantage. We've had the stories where the man and woman relations living with them taking advantage of these little girls. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the you can't really pinpoint and say this is the where.
But do they have a place where they report all these things from? Because like in our tradition now, in the African setting, when these things happen, we don't tend to report them, even when it's your uncle, it's your brother who is involved in this kind of thing.
Yes.
What do you advise or what do you advocate for? Reporting will bring a kind of, should I say, disgrace, or sometimes it might actually affect the girl. So most times the parents or the people who are involved just choose to just allow.
The thing is that sometimes they don't even know.
The parents don't even know.
The parents don't know.
And the girl end up living with those images. And
those. In fact, recently, one of them confided in me.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And this thing happened when she was much younger.
Okay.
And at this point, people that molest children, they come in as friends. Sometimes the parents are the one that brings these people close to the family. At that point, when they start preying on these little ones, the little child can't even open her mouth to tell the parent because they won't believe her. We have situation, we've received a call, a girl of 13, she was already pregnant.
13 years?
Yes. In Enugu here. I'm not telling you what I read or I heard.
Who was responsible for that?
Another jam bite.
They were going to lesson.
In fact, it's sometimes when you hear this thing, it's amazing.
This is another plan. How do we how let's how do you think we can protect this our care child?
One of the ways to protect these young children is for parents to wake up. Parents should not expect churches, schools. Like one parent told me, said, I think I need to take my child to command so that they will discipline. I said, you are trying to deceive yourself. You don't need to be you. In fact, you are not supposed to be a mother. In the olden days, a child doesn't go to school until he or she is 6 or 7. At that period is where education happens. Basic education a child should know. But today it doesn't happen. A child is born 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. The child is sent to go and stay in school. That's why the society is the way it is. We just have to go back to it and find a way to let parents understand this. They need to come in and start parenting their children. This idea of leaving these children to the mercy of house help, in fact, I forgot that one. House help have molested children. You see a girl, a house help, a girl will be molesting the small boys in the house.
House help molesting. You know,
because some of the house help, the girls, they bait the boys.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
In doing that, they start feeling them.
Okay. This
Are you getting it?
Yeah, this stuff is very complex.
Yes, they start feeling them.
Because parents cannot do without a lot of these things that are causing this problem. They can't do. Some of them cannot do without house help. Some can't do without taking their children to some of these daycares.
Yes.
Even when they are underage because of change in
activities and all that.
We don't have this time now, like all the days where we had a lot of time for parenting and all those things. Now there is a problem. There is a deep problem. And are you saying this is only peculiar to girls?
No.
Situation where boys are also being
boys have also been molested here.
By
yes, boys, the same way girls are raped, the same way boys are being raped
by female.
By female.
Do you have a situation of same sex molestation, like a boy molesting a younger boy?
Yes.
Boy.
Yes.
Girl to girl also.
Yes. One of the girls actually told me that the person that they first had sex with her was the senior sister.
Do you have a case of father to children?
Yes. In fact, there's another a case of a father having that, sleeping with the daughter to the point that the girl have grown and now she wants to get married. The man is refusing.
But the man is
married.
The man is married.
He's the father now.
The mother is still alive. The guy is the wife.
Of course.
And she's not aware of what's going on.
She's not aware.
This is interesting. What do you ascribe to be the motivation people going into that kind of thing? Is it demonic?
Sometimes demonic. I will tell you it's demonic because there's one story that we handled. This young man became very wealthy, and had 2 boys, 2 girls.
His own children.
And one day the man was coming back from work, opened the door. What I'm telling you is what happened. It's not something I read somewhere. Opened the door, coming in. He saw his last daughter having sex with his last son. And what happened? He slumped and died. The only person that witnessed it was the house help. The house help could not tell anybody. Do you know why? Because there has been a serious demonic activity. Allow me use that word.
Okay.
In that family. The man, very wealthy. The first son is here in Nigeria, pregnanting girls, sleeping around, partying. They didn't know where the thing was coming from. Because of that same lifestyle, they had to send the daughter, the first daughter, that is the second child, overseas. She went there and started smoking, partying, all manner of things. So the man and the wife is here with the first son and the last two, a boy and a girl. So this whole thing were happening, they didn't know. So the woman was now seeking for help, seeking for solution. Because after the man died, things were still happening. Yes. It didn't stop, things were still happening. So in looking for help, God helped her. She was directed to go and see the mother-in-law in the village. That the mother-in-law has some things she supposed to tell her. Being a woman who is in a very serious trauma and situation like that, she took, and the person told her, he said, take all your family when you are going. So they got home. She met the mother-in-law and said, Mama, I was told to come and see you, that there's something you need to tell me. That was where the woman now opened up and now said to this woman, he said, yes, when your husband was, a young boy, that he was busy sleeping with his sisters. And when the thing came to her notice, she cursed the young boy and chased the young boy out of the house. That even till date, that she never believed that that young boy will become wealthy one day. Now you could see that there are a lot of things money cannot solve.
Yeah, it's actually very complicated.
Now, this young boy was chased away, kind of banished, and every other thing happened. So that was where the house help now opened up, that witnessed the death of the man, because until then they didn't know what killed the man. So the house help now said, Auntie, Ezoku, I have something. It's true. I have something to say. He said that day that uncle died, he said that she saw it. He said that uncle was coming inside and uncle saw the two children, his son and his daughter, mating, having sex, and he sat and just slumped and died. So the auntie was now like, why didn't you tell me all this while? He said, no, auntie, seeing what you were going through, I could not let you hear this because I don't know how you handle it.
Okay, did you have a case of like a child that was actually uh, born through this process? Maybe the father being, maybe the father and the daughter
Mm.
being, and then they ended up having a child.
Well, I've not heard such story. Have not come to us. Do you understand? It might be existing because there are some things people wouldn't let out because it will be too heavy. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But it's possible.
It's possible, like you have those kind of things.
Yes, and these days where abortion, even though it hasn't been legalized, but it's almost legalized.
Yeah. So when such is happening,
Individual have legalized themselves, giving themselves legal grounds on how to.
but
Yes,
they may not allow it to survive.
exactly.
Now, in taking care of the girl child,
Yes.
now in trying to protect the girl child, who do you actually place the more responsibility of educating the child? The mother or the father?
I think both of them have equal responsibility in doing that. Because if you check very well, most of the time the girl child sometimes are close to their fathers.
Yes.
Some are close to their mothers. But the way God designed it is that the girl child should, because naturally the ladies are attracted to male, just like the male also are attracted to the female. At that early age, the father should build a strong bond to the child. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Don't allow your child to feel, I don't know how to put it, feel so much happy when somebody outside is telling the child, I love you for the first time.
So it should come from the inside.
It should start from, in fact, you should make it a language in your house. Both your girl child and your male child, especially the girl child, the father especially should always tell that girl child, baby, I love you. Call her by her name and tell her, I love you. Give her a peck on the head.
Won't that bring the closeness you're trying to?
No, it wouldn't. Where such thing happens is where there is a problem at home. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's not normal. It's not normal that a father will molest his own biological child. It's not normal.
Yeah, it's not.
But one thing you need to know about sexual force is that it's explosive. Sometimes, if you have weakness in that area, you should let it known. You should also make it known to your partner. Do you understand? But it's not normal that a man will start molesting his own children. It's not normal. It's not normal.
These things are sometimes you don't even know what to say. They are mind boggling, and
Yes.
and that shows these things are happening. Like girls tell you stories. A lot of girls have 1 or 2 or 3 stories about escape from rape, escape from. I think almost all the girls will tell you 1 or 2 stories
Exactly.
from their uncle, from people who are close to them, and this is just keep on going. I think they're increasing day by day.
They are increasing.
But people don't talk about it.
They don't talk about it.
Parents
Now,
don't talk about it.
parents don't talk about. Now it's increasing. One of the things that is making this thing to increase is the level of how would I put it, indecency in the society. Now most of the dress that our girl child wears, even our mothers, exposes some part of their body.
Even as a small girl.
Even as a small girl. Now, even because men are moved by what they see.
Yeah.
It is said that 7 cords, 11 veins are connected from the brain to the eye for male child, the boys. So each time a boy looks at a seductive, a naked woman, or anything that stimulates lust, the eye captures it 11 times.
Okay.
But the girl child is just 1. So you see the reason why boys are always navigating towards the girl child. So in clothing them, in our dressing, we should be decent. Today you see a mother having a baby at the back with bun shorts in a public place. Now, a girl, because you are living in the streets, you wear clothes that you're supposed to wear in your room, and you wear it outside simply because you want to go and buy something, or because you want to fetch water. Now you are sending a signal that also could reduce all these things. Because once that the boy child sees it, he starts thinking on it. And attention goes, energy flows where attention is given. You understand? So, to curtail this thing, the parents have to work together. The both parents.
How about the schools you go to? Do you talk to them concerning how? Because I think schools can also play a major role. Churches and all those ones where they control.
Yes, school.
Because you go, I think you get the platform to talk from schools.
Of course.
Where you talk to them, but
yes.
they've never been told something else in school.
You mean the school telling
or trying to introduce or trying to put in those kind of things into their curriculum? Or
no. They only, what they do is on morals. They use their moral time to invite people like us to come talk to the youngest. So most of the time is not enough. Even after, because most of the time these days when I go, I use questions.
Okay.
So that we know exactly what these children are going through. These children are looking for a listening ear. Somebody that can really help them, because some of them today as I'm talking to you, I'm fathering them.
So this thing that happens, I can just imagine something that happened when they are 4, and maybe it's actually once or repeatedly, sometimes once or.
It doesn't need to happen twice before it starts affecting them.
And when the person might be an adult or even married, it's still affecting.
Exactly, because there's a place in the scriptures, I think it's Songs of Solomon, where it states, he said, "O ye daughters of Jerusalem, do not awaken love until the time is ready." If you awaken this desire at that moment where the child does not know the implication, it starts affecting them.
The self-control and all those things
becomes a problem.
Can lead the child to
all manner. I encourage parents, don't buy a smartphone for your child that is still in primary and secondary school. Don't buy a smartphone.
Why? Why?
The reason is, this phone you see is a stimuli.
Okay.
Put this phone here and put the best meal of this child here. Tell the child to take one. The child is hungry. Put these two things. Ask the child to take one. Definitely the child will go for the phone. Now, the question you should ask yourself is that, does this child has what it takes to control this phone? Do you understand? Sometimes parents do it because they don't want their child to look different.
But what you don't buy for them, would they go outside to?
Do you know the problem is that when you don't start to inculcate these values to this child early, you tell the child, I will get you phone. You don't use force to do it. First of all, you have to establish love in the heart of that child. I was listening to a young girl who was, I think she was out of secondary school, and said this is the first time she's getting a phone. She was already in the university. She was very happy. She said this is the first time she's handling a phone, and the phone I'm telling you is not even this type of smartphone. It's this button flip phone.
Even if you must buy phone for them, should restrict it to like phones that can make calls.
Yes, make calls. If they need to do assignments, and you can now give them yours to use. And let me tell you, the truth of the matter is that using these things to do assignments have not made us smarter.
So this is to prevent
yes
the child from
yes
okay,
because now, can you control the child not going online with that smartphone? That's the thing. Now you are buying that child that smartphone. How much training have you really given that child?
But the child needs, sometimes they need, the schools even ask them to get phones, like,
you know, sometimes you can't control these things.
Okay, do you have plans to talk to the parents from what you've gotten, the feedbacks you get? How do you talk to them also?
Yeah,
they need this information.
Yeah.
You have a platform where you get to them, you get that kind of information, you talk to them. How do you do that? Or are you doing
actually, initially when I was with a friend of mine, we are doing this. When we discover all these things, we started what is called Save the Child Conference.
Save the Child Conference.
Save the Child Conference
For the parents.
For the parents. You understand? We started. Yeah, it's still going on.
Okay.
You understand? It's still going on.
Why the one for this year?
No. It's come later this year. You understand? Yeah, but my friend is anchoring. His name is Lemmy Jonathan. He's anchoring it, and he's doing that. You know, but the challenge there is this. Just like you know that the society revolves.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happen. People are more busy now. You know, trying to cope with the state of things in the society. There is no amount of awareness that you will have that is going to be beyond, that is going to be better than when you are self-aware.
What do you mean by that?
When you as a mother, you've passed that process. It's like a mother being asked and said, you are not aware. Don't you know that your daughter is pregnant for 1 month, and you say you don't know? How can a mother say that?
Okay, but you find out that these things, like from what you're explaining now, there's an increase in this child abuse or child exploitation, as they call it. But you see, these children, they still have mothers. Possibly out of 10, maybe 7 of them have gone through the same process or have had experience. So I think it's not even the experience they've had is not also helping, because he was helping to be declining. But they are not intentional about it.
Yeah. You're right. They are not intentional, and they are not saying, okay, just like the story I told you.
Yeah.
If that man knew that what he was doing to his sisters will come back and be the thing that will kill him, wouldn't do it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's how this thing goes.
Okay, like when somebody, the person has gone through it, has been abused when possibly she was small, 4, 5, 3 years. There's an adult,
Yes.
and these things they're still disturbing the person. The person comes to you, she has poured out her heart. How then do you continue the healing? How you could go from there?
Actually, one of the ways we try to help these people recover is that we tell them you cannot do anything about your past. You can't change your past, but you can create your future. Now, one thing you must constantly do is to forget it. Like one of them was molested. Of course, when a child is molested at age 3, age 4, there is penetration. It's not just touching the child. There's penetration. They grow up with this inferiority feeling that I'm no longer a virgin. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So sometimes it brings these bad feelings to them. So what we tell them is that you are still.
How are they still? Okay, like psychological.
Yes. You have to state that. Let the child know that.
That what happened to you?
Yes.
It
wasn't your making.
You're making, and
It wasn't your making.
you have to.
Yes, it helps them to. Yes, it helps them to get back.
Be healed. And
Yes. It helps them to come back.
are there situations where after it happened so early and they had medical complications?
Yeah, I have not had, because sometimes when this thing happens, sometimes they will be threatened. Most of these children actually confess that these people threaten that if they speak, they will kill them.
So they end up
keeping it. And a child of 4, you can actually put fear in that child.
Yeah.
And that child will live with that thing. Now, most of them, we met them when they are 12, 13. Now, check from 4 to 12. It's 8 years. It has become a system in that child's mind. And sometimes when we come, it's not as a result of constant, talking to them before they will now open up.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
One of them was actually, she was raped as a result of the mother's carelessness. And now they will be threatened some of them, the uncle will say, if you speak.
Okay, like if you have a young girl watching this video now, this podcast, and she's into that kind of situation. What do you advise her to do?
What I can advise her to do is that she should, first of all, advise people to always go to God. Do you understand? Basically.
The small girl?
Eh?
The small girl that is into this kind of thing?
A small girl of 4?
Like somebody that, they may not be 4, some people are even molested at 10, 8 and the other. and she's into this thing now. This is happening to her.
Okay.
Currently
as we okay.
Well,
Okay.
what do you expect her to do? Like, what do you suggest the way out of it, or how should she come out of?
Now I'll answer this question this way. I had a situation where a young girl was being molested. This young girl lives with the parent, the mother. You understand? Lives with the parents. Now the parents brought in a young man. They feel that he's clean and genuine. Not their relation, but they just have love towards this young man. And they brought the young man into the family. And the young man is an intelligent one. So sometimes he calls the young girl and starts giving the girl some tutorials. It looks good.
From the surface.
From the surface. Do you know what? This young man was busy sleeping with this young girl. Sleeping. That's anytime, almost like every day. Now, see where the problem lies. When this thing started going on, the young girl too started enjoying the thing. But the thing started affecting her studies. A young girl is in class and teacher is speaking. The next thing is the picture of the young man.
She switches off from that one to another.
So the moment what I'm telling you, the moment the information got to me, I had to step in like a father. Because I told these young girls, I said, if I must help you, you must start seeing me as your father, not as one uncle.
The person had a father also at that point.
Yes.
She
because the meaning of a father is source and a protector.
But currently, we're only playing one part, source.
Source.
Protector part is
on the background. And because you are not close to that child, the child wants, you come back from work, you're tired, and your child is coming to, you say, no. You are training that child not to relate anything to you, consciously, unconsciously. So I had to step in for this little girl. I said, this must stop. You are dying. Now, have you told your mom? No, my mom won't even believe.
She was not reported to you?
Yes. Because this young guy is clean in the eyes of the parents.
Because he was destroying them.
Destroying them. In their own house. Because when they go to work, or piano, because he will come, they already know him as the friend of the family, in the name that he's teaching the young girl. And this young girl was threatened. Don't tell anybody. I'm doing this to protect you from boys outside. The problem is, this girl could not tell the mom. She was living in fear, lacks concentration in the class. At that moment, if she takes in, she will go for abortion. Definitely. So I had to step in and told the young girl, I said, please give me the number of this person, this young guy. Yes. I said, are you telling me that I must be your biological children to protect you? No.
What was the guy's response?
I had to call the young guy. I said, please, my name is so person. I am the father of so person. Do you know her? He said yes. I said, why are you destroying this young girl? What explanation?
Say he was saving the girl.
No. I want to know the explanation.
But he didn't have any. What was the explanation? He just apologized and.
He was apologizing that he didn't know that it was affecting the girl and all those things. I said, what were you thinking? Somebody that okay, now in the eyes of the parents, they thought you are helping the girl, right? I said, can't you imagine this girl to be your younger sister? I said, it's because you are seeing this young girl as a sex toy. Because if you're seeing her as a family, you won't do this. I said, please, from today, stop calling this girl. I'm begging you in the name of God. You've done enough harm. Stop calling. Delete her number from your phone. Because if you do not do that, I won't take it lightly anymore, because this youngest child is at stake now.
Is there?
So like you asked, so what I advise the young girls to do is that whenever this thing is happening, or if it has happened, don't keep it to yourself.
Find someone you trust.
Find someone you trust.
Do you have a website or an email address?
Yeah, we have email address.
Okay, we would like to display it. Somebody can easily call people.
Yes, we have email address. We have a phone number. We have WhatsApp number.
And they can reach.
Yes, you can reach us, and you can be sure of whatever we don't.
Privacy.
Yes, but our goal is to deliver you from the hands of these predators.
Vampires.
Because they are everywhere. Because of the situation on ground, the parents are busy chasing money, looking for what they will eat.
Looking for what they will use to train.
They will use to train them.
Somebody destroying.
And somebody is busy destroying them. Now you provided food, but emotionally that child is gone.
So even this home teaching stuff should be done under the supervision of the parents.
Exactly.
It shouldn't come when the parents are not around.
Exactly.
I think these rules need to be set at home.
Yes. In fact, one parent had to tell me that he had to call the wife and said, 2 of us cannot be working. The wife then was a banker. He said 2 of us cannot be working. It's either you quit your job and I'm working, or I quit my job and you are working.
For the meantime, what did you
For the meantime, as the stage these children are now, then 2 of us cannot be, working in the secular world. That's how serious it is.
Yeah, it's very serious, because I can imagine a young girl going through all these things, and before she becomes an adult, the innocence destroyed.
That's why our marriages are not lasting.
Why? How?
Because people carry over
most of those
experiences into the family,
become hostile to the guy.
Become hostile.
Yeah, this is happening to a lot of girls.
Yes.
A lot. I think 9 out of 10 girls.
10 girls
will give you their own stories of escaping rape, being molested by people that if they tell you, if you call their names for you, you may not actually.
You won't believe it.
Girls carry a lot of secrets.
And throughout these years, I've been doing this thing for more than 20 years. See, if you are not called, if you are not empowered to do this,
You won't be able to do it.
You won't be able to do
You
it.
hear a lot of things that will break you.
They will break you, and that you even become a predator to these girls, which we have handled.
Because they come to you when they are very vulnerable.
Vulnerable. And you know, the female child is an emotional being, because they naturally need care.
Yeah.
They need attention. I speak to parents, I tell you, please do not. Many of them, I ask them, when was the last time your father or your mother said to you, I love you? Oh, they'll tell you,
Never.
never. It has never happened. So when a tout walking on the road looked straight into the girl's eyes and said, I love you,
And things are.
you've blown the girl off.
But you know, the African parents believe that providing, doing all those things, the girl should understand, daddy and mom, they love you. So yeah, in the other way, you're trying to say they must verbalize it. You must demonstrate that
Exactly.
verbal term
Exactly. Both the father and the mother
constantly.
constantly. What will make a young girl to give in to a boy a jam bite? Women are processed by what they hear. They are processed. That's why a lot of them are praised to all these things. Tell them I love you, I can't sleep at night. You know, all those things. And now they are in a house where sometimes the mothers will even abuse them. You this girl, you are stupid, you are this, you are that. Destroying the girl's self-esteem. That's what she constantly. And outside that, most of these girls, they live with one auntie or the other. And you know how housemaids are being treated. They are not part of the family. I was a victim of such, where you don't eat the new soup they cook, you keep eating the old one. And when that old one finishes, the new one will become the old one. They will now cook new one. So you keep eating the old one.
So poverty contributes to all this one.
Will you really say it's poverty?
And because when you give birth, anyway, sometimes the children don't go to their uncle's house because the parents are poor. Sometimes just visitation. But what it has to do with staying, like going for a holiday, is different.
You know, sometimes I don't like blaming it on poverty, because each time you can find something you blame a situation upon, you don't take responsibility. You don't become responsible. And that's why a lot of people keep doing that same thing, because they've seen something that they can hang the blame on. You understand?
Yeah.
It's all about planning. Planning. Yes.
From both parents.
Both parents. If you have 4 kids, 4 children, today, in today's world, most people who went to what is it called? Higher institutions, are not really doing what they studied in the school.
Yes.
So we've mistaken academics to education. That's why today in the Western world, they are going back to vocational studies.
Okay. In just let me say in a minute or thereabout, what will you say to a new wedded couple? They don't have child and they're watching this now, or they have very young children? Because that's what we actually say, what can we do? They've gone through this. What can we do to make sure that these children are protected from this? There are ones that are within their control, being able to keep proper monitoring of their children, then what can they do? Like in a very plain, the first steps they should take, they have little children, what can they do? The final needs.
As a new couple, nobody gets married and you have a baby immediately.
Yeah.
So one thing they should understand is that God is giving them an opportunity to become a co-creator. And now when that child comes, before that child comes, please, both of them should settle it in their hearts. You should settle it in your heart to establish love in the heart of this child. Because when a child knows that you love her, then discipline will start to work. And now when you tell a child, I will flog you, flog her or him, and you don't start disciplining that child when the child is 3 or 2, and you say, no, leave this child. It's a small child, doesn't know anything. When that child is in the womb, that's when you start. Because at the same time, you are all equally putting up a structure and a system in training that child in the way the child should go.